Welcome to Sports Love Media on YouTube. It's your guy, Sports Love, broadcasting live today, May 20th, 2025. In today's live stream, we are going to go over the Major League Baseball games that will be played later today. In this, we will go over who is playing, who the starting pitchers are, the money line, the over-under, and then my thoughts on who I think is going to win the game. And then there's some other sports stuff that we're going to discuss. Can y'all hear me out there in YouTube land? Anyway, we'll start with the games on May 20th. You have the Chicago Cubs versus Miami. And that will be, the starting pitchers will be Jamison Talion versus Ryan Weathers. The Chicago Cubs has the money line minus 155. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. You have Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh, which will be Nick Martinez versus Bailey Falter. The money line has Cincinnati minus 125. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. Next you have is the Atlanta versus Washington. Spencer Strider versus Mitchell Parker. The money line is Atlanta minus 185. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. Next, you have the New York Mets versus Boston, and that'll be Clay Holmes versus Walker Buehler. In the money line, you have the New York Mets minus 120, and the over-under is 8.5 or 9. Can y'all hear me out there in YouTube land? Anyway, next you have Houston versus Tampa Bay, which will be Brandon Walter versus Zach Little. You have Houston with the money line, minus 115. The over-under is 9.5 or 10. Next, you'll have Texas versus the New York Yankees with Patrick Corbin versus Will Warren. The money line is New York Yankees minus 195. The over-under is 9.5 or 10. Next, you'll have San Diego versus Toronto, which will be Dylan Cease versus Chris Massett. There's no money line or over-under information available on this game, so I'm going to make a prediction that San Diego will win the game by 3 runs. Don't know what the final score will be, but it'll be by 3 runs. You have Baltimore versus Milwaukee, which is going to be undecided, versus Logan Henderson. The money line, you've got Milwaukee minus 125. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. Next, you have Cleveland versus Minnesota. Starting pitchers will be Gavin Williams versus Chris Paddock. Money line, you have Minnesota minus 120. The over-under is 7.5 or 8. You have Seattle playing the Chicago White Sox, which will be undecided versus Bryce Wilson. You have Seattle minus 115 on the money line. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. And hello, Olchi, I do appreciate it. I do also welcome Dr. Sammy Munchkin. Thank you for joining this broadcast today. It's greatly appreciated. Let's see. Seattle versus Chicago White Sox will be undecided versus Bryce Wilson. The money line has Seattle minus 115. The over-under is 8.5 or 9. And hello, Lugs. How are you? Next game you have is Detroit versus St. Louis. You have Tariq Skubal versus Eric Fed. The money line has Detroit minus 180. The over-under is 7.5 or 8. You have Philadelphia versus Colorado, which will be Jesus Luzardo versus Antonio Senzatella. Philadelphia has the money line with minus 275. The over-under is 10.5 or 11. You have Kansas City versus San Francisco, which will be Mitchell Lorenzen versus Hayden Birdsong. The money line, San Francisco minus 135. The over-under is 7.5 or 8. Have the Los Angeles Angels versus the Athletics, which will be Kyle Hendricks versus Gunnar Hoglund. Athletics have the money line on this one with minus 165. The over-under is 10.5 or 11. You have Arizona versus the Los Angeles Dodgers, which will be Ryan Nelson versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto. in that one, and you have the money line with the Los Angeles Dodgers minus 225. The over-under is 9.5 or 10. Before going forward, just want to let you know that there will be occasional noises that you might hear, lawnmowers and whatnot, so bear with me on that. So, now that we've gone over that, I'm going to go over my picks. In the Chicago Cubs Miami game, I have, I'm going to have Chicago Cubs winning that one, and I'm going to go over the 9. Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh, I have, I'm going to take Cincinnati to beat Pittsburgh today, and I'm going to go over the 9. In the Atlanta versus Washington game, I have Atlanta winning that one, and I'm going to go over the 9. The New York Mets versus Boston, I'm going to have the New York Mets winning that one, and also over the 9. Houston versus Tampa Bay, I'm going to go Houston, and I'm going to go over the 10. Texas versus the New York Yankees, I'm going to have the New York Yankees, and I'm going to go under the 10. San Diego versus Toronto, I'm going to have, I don't have any information on that, so again, I'm going to say that San Diego wins the game by 3 runs. No money line or over-under, so I don't really know. In the Baltimore versus Milwaukee, I'm going to go Baltimore, and I'm going to go under the 9. Cleveland versus Minnesota, I have Minnesota winning that one, and I'm going to go over the 8. Seattle versus the Chicago White Sox, I'm going to go Seattle on that one, and I'm going to go over the 9. Detroit versus St. Louis, I'm going to have Detroit win that one and over the 8. Philadelphia versus Colorado, I'm going to have Philadelphia win that one, and it's going to be under the 11. Kansas City versus San Francisco, Michael Lorenzen versus Hayden Birdsong. Yeah, I'd already mentioned that. I'm going to go San Francisco on that one, and I'm going to go over the 8 on that one. All right, so the Los Angeles Angels versus Athletics, I'm going to go the Angels winning that one, and I'm going to go under the 11. I'm going to have, in the Arizona-Los Angeles game, I'm going to have, the Los Angeles Dodgers, I'm going to go the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm going to go under the 10. So, again, Arizona will lose to Los Angeles. It'll be under 10. Los Angeles Angels will lose to the Athletics, and I'm going under the 11. Let's see. Again, as a summary, I have Chicago Cubs winning with over, Cincinnati winning with over, Atlanta winning with over, the New York Mets beating Boston with over, Houston versus Tampa Bay, I'm going to have Houston with over, Texas versus the New York Yankees, I believe I have the Yankees winning that one and under. San Diego will beat Toronto, and will do so by 3 runs. Baltimore versus Milwaukee, I'm going Baltimore on that one, and I'm going to go over the 9. Cleveland versus Minnesota, I have Minnesota, and I'm going over the 8. Seattle versus the Chicago White Sox, I'm going under the 9, and I'm going to have Seattle winning that one. Detroit versus St. Louis, I picked Detroit to win that one and over the 8. Philadelphia versus Colorado, I had Philadelphia winning that one and under the 11. Kansas City versus San Francisco, I have San Francisco winning that over the 8. All right, so now those are my picks for my Major League Baseball summary picks and stuff for today. So moving on to the next aspect of sports. In college softball news, the regionals have concluded and now moved to super regionals. Out of the 64 teams that has started in the playoffs, it is now down to 16. Each team will play a best of 3 games, with the winner advancing to the Women's College World Series in softball. The super regional matchups will be Georgia versus Florida, Ole Miss versus Arkansas, Texas Tech versus Florida State, Clemson versus Texas, Nebraska versus Tennessee, UCLA versus South Carolina, Alabama versus Oklahoma, Liberty versus Oregon. Liberty if you don't know, surprised everyone in the regional round by defeating Texas A&M, who was the number one team in all of America, and they beat them and got to the Super Regionals. These Super Regionals will be played May 22nd through 25th of 2025 at 8 different sites across the United States. In WNBA action for today, May 20th, 2025, it is Las Vegas versus Connecticut. The pros favor Las Vegas to win by 12.5 or 13. The over-under is 166.5 or 167. So in that game and making the pick, I'm actually going against the pros. I do favor Las Vegas to win that game over Connecticut, but I think it'll be a closer matchup to where Las Vegas wins by 6 or 7, not the 13. The over-under is 167, and I'm going to go probably under that. I'm going to go under the 166.5 on that one. I seriously don't think they'll score that many points, but I don't know. Next game is Atlanta will be playing Indiana. Indiana is favored to win the game by 8.5 or 9 points. The over-under is 171.5 or 172. In this situation, I think in regard to the margin, I think it's going to be a closer margin, and I think Indiana will win the game by 4, not the 8.5 or 9, so I'm going to disagree there. And the over-under is 171.5 or 172. And in that situation, because Indiana is known for scoring a lot of points, I honestly think it's going to be higher than that. So I'm going to go over on the 172. Also, in a professional basketball game in the Greek League, during a game on May 17th, 2025, during the game between Aris and Marousi, 14-year-old Paris Klantzaris became the youngest player ever to play within the Greek League. This league is the equivalent of the NBA in North America. He went in by substitution with 43 seconds left in the game. In that time, he managed to get 1 defensive rebound, drew a foul, went to the free throw line, and scored 1 of 2 on the free throws. I do not know if he scored any other points, but those were the notable stats that I could find from that. Let's see. Also, you have NBA playoff action continuing. You have NHL playoffs continuing. I'm not sure how the matchups are going to be because I didn't exactly look into that, but I know that's going to be going on. In future, I'll be doing videos regarding how Indiana Fever does in their games, just like I did with the first game of the season. I won't be covering every game, but I'll be doing some of the games. Other upcoming things, there will be some streaming coming up in the future regarding different things, some live streaming of actual athletic competitions and sporting events, and of course there'll be more of these Major League Baseball live streams as appropriate. I do plan on doing another Major League Baseball stream or similar type of stream probably on Friday of this week. I'm not sure of the times on any of those streams, but I'll let you know as soon as I know. So with that, that's all I have today for this live stream today. I wish to thank each and every one of you for taking the time today to come on my channel, Sports Live Media, to hear what's going on in Major League Baseball and all that other stuff. If you will, I do ask that you please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the notification bell so you can be made aware of when I'm doing these live streams, when I have breaking news in the sports world, when I have sports action videos, and when I have sports education videos or any other sports updates. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. There are 2 ways to do it. One, you go to www.youtube.com, the slash symbol, the at symbol, SPORTSLOV. A quicker way is go on the YouTube search tab and type in Bob Amin. That is BOBAMIN. You'll know it's me because I'll have Sports Live Media burned into a basketball as my avatar. I'm also on the Twitter X area, and with that, to find me, my handle is at BobAmin16. That is the at symbol, BOBAMIN 16, and you'll find me on Twitter X as well. So, if anybody has any comments, questions regarding my picks for today? Anybody? I do also apologize. This stream's a little shorter than usual, but I didn't really have a lot to talk about today, but I knew I needed to do a live stream today. So we'll have the next live stream for sure sometime on Friday regarding Major League Baseball. And I'm not sure what time that'll be yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I know something. So anyway, thank you again for tuning in today. I do hope you have a wonderful day. I'm Bob Amin from Sports Love Media signing out. Thank you and have a wonderful day.